Alright. Hello everyone, my name's PJ or TeamAmerica, and welcome to my Duels Update review. So in the new patch, 20.0 Hearthstone patch, that will go live March 25th, this Thursday. Lots of changes for Duels. It's super exciting that they're supporting the mode. And this won't be the only update for this expansion. I believe that we're getting an update with new heroes later in the expansion. Not 100% sure on that, but so on March 25th, duels ratings for casual and heroic will be reset to 0, and the pool of eligible cards will so Forge in the Barrens won't be eligible until it comes out on the 30th, but we'll be able to use the core set, all the sets we can currently use, and then we're gonna be using Legacy, which is basic classic, which will include the Hall of Fame cards. Some of them are banned, like Ice Block from your starting deck. There's a list of those cards later, but so yeah, so cards like Naturalize will be back in the pool as well, and Journey to Ungoro. So it's basically a Hall of Fame and Journey to Ungoro are being added to, and the core cards that aren't already in Basic or Classic. So it's a lot of cards. I'm going to be doing a review of Fortune of Barons right after this video, so look out for that. So starting, they are adding a ton. Oh, also, Fortune of Baron cards will be in buckets before the expansion comes out, which is a lot of fun. I remember back in GVG when you could play arena cards before the expansion came out. It was a ton of fun, so hopefully this will be fun as well for the 5 days. Moving on to the new passives. There are a lot of them. So altogether now, your Battlecry cards cost 1 less, but not less than 1. So as a starting, like, it's probably above average if you have a decent amount of Battlecry cards, because it'll let you tempo stuff out faster. So it seems all right. And then there's a lot of these passives that refer to the spell schools like nature and stuff, and because they're not in my collection, I don't actually know what cards are what school yet, so it's a little bit harder for me to say the power level of each one. But here we got Righteous Reserves. After you play a Divine Shield, a minion with Divine Shield, give a random friendly minion Divine Shield. Seems alright if you're playing Paladin. If you're not, probably pretty hard to use because you need a Divine Shield minion and you need a non-Divine Shield minion on the board to get value from it. But I mean, it also makes it so that all of your Divine Shield heroes are like Argent Protectors. So, like, if you only have one minion on the board. So, I mean, it could be really strong, but very deck dependent, and I don't know if there are enough minions with Divine Shield. But, like, I mean, you're probably running Goody 2 shields, so you'll get some value from it, probably. I like this one a lot more, Avenging Armaments. Passive after a friendly minion loses a Divine Shield, give it +2/+2. Especially on, like, Goody 2 shields, it's like, it's a 4/2, and then it's a 6/4, and then you give it Divine Shield again, and then it loses that, and then it's an 8/6. So this is insane. I'm guessing that this is a tier 2 passive, and that this is like a tier 1 passive. Because this is actually really strong. So, but we'll see about that. Especially if you were to get both of them together. Like, the minions would be growing really quickly on the board. Endurance Training. Your top minions cost 2 less, but not less than 1. So I think that the Taunt Warrior quest will be played. I don't know how good it'll be, but it will be played a decent amount, and this will be insane. So yeah, that'll make the quest completion quite easy. Outside of that, I don't think there'll be a ton of use. And then this one I do think will be good. I'll hold the line. Your top minions have +2 attack during your opponent's turn, so if you're trying to play a control deck, this will make that much easier. So it basically everything is a Card Creeper. +2 attack during your opponent's turn. Open the Doorways, a value passive. After your first Discover in a turn, gain another copy of that card. So it's like the like double time for Discover, which is pretty sick. And then this one is potentially insane. Orb of Revelation. After your first Discover in a turn, reduce cost of spells in your hand by 2, but not less than 1. So, yeah, if you're playing a lot of spells, that's going to make your hand a lot cheaper. Like, Nature Studies is an insane card. Imagine Nature Studies, but it makes all of your cards 2 cheaper. Like, so like you play Nature Studies, and then, yeah. The card you discover will cost you less. Like, it's insane. This is insane. This is a tier 2 passive. This is insane. Conduit of Storms. So you're noticing here at the start of your turn, if you are overloaded, gain +2 attack this turn. So I'm assuming it's referring to your hero. 1. 2. So some of these are going to be very, like, they will be offered to classes that can get value out of them. So this one will literally only ever be offered to Shaman. Because Shaman is the only class that can overload. Potion of Sparkling. Passive, after a friendly rush minion attacks an enemy minion, deal 1 damage to adjacent minion. So, pretty alright. If you have a rush deck, definitely will help you clear out multiple. If like people are trying to swarm you, will help out a lot. Good against token decks. I love this. I loved Playmaker, so Special Delivery. Passive, after you play a rush minion, summon a copy with 1 health remaining. So, helping you clear the board for sure. So if this is a tier 2 passive and you get Rocket Backpacks as your first passive, it makes it so that every minion you play is doubled. So that could be pretty sick. I'm excited about this one. Like, just because, like, Warrior plays a lot of Rush minions. So, I like that. Whenever you play a nature spell, restore 2 health to your hero. Mending Pools. This is terrible, I think. And Spreading Saplings, after you cast a nature spell, summon a 2/2 Treant. This is alright. So. It's alright. Like, I mean, my Spell Druid, like, struggles to be on the board at all, because I'm just casting spells. So, I don't know, maybe this could help you be on the board some. Because, like, I remember, From the Swamp would be nice with that, because it would help me get on the board, so. I mean, this might be usable. Okay. Arcane Crystal. After you play an arcane spell, reduce the cost of a card in your hand by 1, but not less than 1. Honestly, I feel like this one you should just let it go to 0, because it's reducing the cost of a random card in your hand. Hopefully it can't hit cards that already cost 1. It's alright. Like, they're being super careful with 0 cost cards. So, we'll see. I don't think this is very good, though. Like, it's like, I would say it's like below. It's maybe better than Drinking Robes, but not by much. And Arcane Flux, after you play your first arcane spell on a turn, discover a card from your class. So, like, this is most likely a tier 2 treasure. It's a pretty good value. The thing is, like, your tier 2 treasures, you want to be a little bit more busted, so we'll see. But, I mean, like, you won't run out of value in Mage, probably, with this. So, Corrupted Fellstone, whenever you cast a Fell spell, give a minion in your hand +2/+2. Fell, I believe, will be Warlock and Demon Hunter. Hand buffs have traditionally always been too slow. But, I mean, like, if you can get it really early, it can help out, but... Like, because the condition is pretty easy, casting a spell, but... hand buffs are always really slow, so unless it's insane, it's typically pretty difficult to get value. Withering a week, after you cast a Fell spell, deal 2 damage to the lowest health enemy. So it says enemy and not enemy minion. So if they don't have any minions, that's 2 damage to their face. I think this is decent, to be honest. Because, like, the lowest health enemy, so it's like you're picking off the stuff that is trying to stick around. And you can still get value if they have no minions, because it'll just do the damage to their face. Or if they have, like, 1 health, and they have, like, a 2 health minion on the board, you can finish them off by just playing a Fell spell. It'll be pretty sick. But yeah, we'll have to see, exactly how the passives are distributed. And if, like, all of the old passives stay in. There's a lot of information that they don't share at the moment. So free solid passive, whenever damage is dealt to a frozen enemy minion, destroy it. That's pretty sick. Like, honestly, I don't know which one of these would be tier 1 and which one is tier 2. This is Arctic Armor, passive, whenever you freeze an enemy, gain +1 armor. So, like, Frost Nova and Blizzard are, like, giving you, like, 5, 6 armor at times. So this one adds up if you're playing, like... This could add up if you're playing, like, Embercaster. You just get a ton of Frost Novas, and then they, like... Their board is full, and you just gain 7 armor for multiple turns. Firekeeper's Idol, after you cast a fire spell, summon a 1/2 Flame Elemental. This seems incredibly weak. Flame Waves, at the end of your turn, deal damage to all enemies for each fire spell you've cast this turn. This seems insane. It includes their face, so it's like, I don't know exactly what the fire spells will be, but like Flaming Torch, or Flaming Torch isn't it, but you cast a fireball and then it's like an arcane explosion. So Flame Waves seems like it might be good. Invigorating Light, after you play a holy spell, restore 1 health to all friendly characters. Kind of meh. After you cast your first holy spell in a turn, or Divine Illumination, after you cast your first holy spell in a turn, discover a card from your class. Just value generation. Eerie Stone, passive, after you destroy a minion with a shadow spell, add a copy of that minion. And I feel like you might fill your hand too much with this. But like I said, I don't know what any of these spells are. I just straight up don't. Like I can guess that Fireball is a fire spell, Arcane Missiles is an arcane spell, Blizzard is a frost spell, but outside of those, I really don't know. So we'll just have to wait and see. After you, and then Staff of Pain, after you cast a shadow spell, deal 2 damage to each hero. That seems terrible. And now for probably the best passive being added. After you rally the troops, after you play your first Battlecry card in a turn, draw a card. It costs 5 less. Five less. Imagine getting a Penflinger in your deck. Absolutely busted. It will be noted later, you can't start with Penflinger anymore. You can't put it in your starting deck, it'll be banned, but you can still get it in a bucket. Okay, so balance updates. Frost Shards, the hero power goes from 2 mana to 1 mana, but the Frost Shard itself goes from 1 mana to 2 mana, and it's a 2/1. So, I think that this is an upgrade, I would say, for sure. It helps me. It helped, like, this mage was great because it could control the board. The part of the issue is getting the ice shards out of your hand is going to be much more difficult in the mid game, but early and late, I think it's better. I think the deck is just better in general. Well, like, not better than it used to be, but better than the 2 mana. 2 mana was too much. So I do like this, how it's like backloaded instead of front loaded on the cost. So I think this is good. Your hand is gonna get super clogged though. Dark Arts, the discard hero power, you only get to choose from 3 cards in your hand instead of 4. So they're nerfing it, but you're also with Ungirl, you're adding, you can have Clutch Mother in your starting hand, the 2/2 legendary that like you discard and it comes back with +2/2, and then also Lakari Sacrifice, discard 6 cards, and then you get the portal that summons 2 Flame Imps every turn, which will be pretty, I think. So yeah. I don't know how Lakari Sacrifice will be, but preemptively nerfing this I think is fine. Favored Racer. So this was basically never played. Now and they're giving it Rush now. So I think that this might be well, it will be a good card, but honestly, like, the issue that Paladin has had has not been its treasures. Paladin has like the best treasures. This one is still really good, but I just don't think it can compete with Royal Greatsword, Men-at-Arms, or Humble Blessing. Like, they have the most busted treasures, and then like the worst card pool. Tempest Fury gets an extra durability. I was already using this in my Overload Shaman, so that's just good. And then Connections, instead of getting 1/1 turtles, Rip Turtles, now you get a random 1-cost minion, which is a massive upgrade. 1-cost minions are traditionally better than vanilla 1/1s, so yeah, you're gonna be able to get a 3/1 with Wind Fury, but there's also a lot of really good ones. And now, banned cards, they are banning several cards from duels for deck building specifically, and then excluding a few more cards from buckets. Self-Sharpening Sword will no longer be banned. It also, so it says it can now show up in the group learning bucket. I think I saw it in the group learning bucket before, so I don't know. But the cards that they are banning are mostly Hall of Fame cards. Ice Lance, Sylvanas, Leroy, Ice Block, Doomguard, Divine Favor, Prophet Valen, Hawkeye Soul Priest, Mind Blast, Old Murkai, Divine Spirit, Tour Guide Penflinger, Lightning Bloom, and the new Nozdormu. That makes it so that your turns are 15 seconds. So the most notable things here are Tour Guide and Penflinger are banned. So Tour Guide being banned makes Token Druid a lot worse. And it makes Death Rattle Hunter worse. But Hunter is also getting Starving Buzzer back for 2 mana, so we'll see how that works out. So notable cards from the Halt Legacy that you can put in your starting deck will be Ragnaros, Mind Control Tech, which that's gonna be, oh my god. So like, I never really minded it that much, but like it having to think about having 4 minions on your board every single turn. Um, yeah. So that's gonna be a thing. I think mind control deck will belong in every single deck. Hopefully, they'll. I have to guess that it'll be banned eventually, but it's gonna be in every single deck. And you will have to think about it every single. So, I still have my golden mind control tech, I think. So, I don't know why I didn't dust it. Okay, what are the other cards that I was thinking about that were good? So Arcane Golem, it'll be a 4/2 with charge. And then Mountain Giant will be playable, as well as Molten Giant. I don't know, like you can't really play them in the. You can't play Molten Giant in the starting deck. Maybe you could play Mountain Giant, but we'll see about that. And also, I don't know why Nozdormer the Eternal can't be put in, but whatever. And then, so you can't get quests from buckets, but you can put quests in your starting deck. So, yeah. And then some Duels general updates. We've made a few miscellaneous updates to Duels outside of these balance changes. But you might notice we've updated general game flow to offer passive active treasures, adjusted health values, and offer card buckets at new intervals throughout a Duels run. So basically, the rules of like you get your passive after games 1 and game 5, and like your first active after game 2 or 3. I don't even remember anymore. But apparently they're changing all the rules to those, and they're not telling us what they are. And when you get your health total changes, like after game 1 and game 3, like they're making a ton of changes apparently, and they're just like, okay, go figure it out on your own. Which, I mean, at least they're making changes, and they're telling us that they made the changes. Having been someone who played Arena for over like 23,000 wins, they would make changes and not say anything to us, and not really have anything to say afterwards. So I'm not gonna complain about it, but I would like to know what they were, but I mean, I'm happy that they're updating and supporting the game mode. So, also, school spells have been added to several treasures. Warden's Insight. I don't even know what Marvelous Mycelium is. I don't know what that is. But deadly weapons and oh, maybe this is the Druid one that like makes it so your choose one chooses both. But like nothing can hold a candle to sight. So Deadly Weapons 101, Chaos Storm, Shadow is Fractured Spirits, Shadow Word Void, Acquired Allies, Demonology 101, Fell is Summoning Ritual, Gift of the Legion, Binding Chains, Holy, Men at Arms, and Humble Blessings, which I think that there will be some deck building around that because of this new card from Forged in the Barrens, Knight of Anointment, Battlecry, draw a holy spell. So that's like you can build your starting deck and basically only have one holy spell in it, and then it's like you have 2 in it because you can just play a 1 mana card to draw it. So yeah, and I'll look I'm gonna be doing a card review as well, not in this video, but that was just one thing that I saw right away when I looked at these. So Elemental Learning is somehow a fire spell. Arcane is infinite arcane. Yeah. But and then they've added some buckets. The hero power one for mage is pretty cool, I think. So, and Razor Rattle because they got a bunch of Death Rattle cards now. So, but I don't know. These aren't really too meaningful to me until we see what cards are in them. And they've updated the unlock criteria for signature treasures and hero powers to count duplicates in your collection. So the ones that say you needed to have like 135 cards, now if you have like 64 duplicates, it'll make some of them will be a lot easier to unlock. The ones that require legendaries won't be. At least they're making steps in the right direction with the cost of duels, which I've always felt was too high. At least like over time, they're slowly lowering it, which is important. So, but yeah, so that is my review of the patch 20 duels patch notes. If you're watching on YouTube, please be sure you like, subscribe, comment with what you're most excited for, and watch me every day on twitch.tv/TeamAmerica. And look out for my card review. For watching.